Hello, everyone. I think we're live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. So let's go. I thought I'd just do a live instead of a pre-record because we can talk about the Chelsea game. And if anyone wants to interact or if anyone is available at all, then that would be great for just to chat because I talk to myself all the time. And apart from talking to my mates on WhatsApp, I don't get no interaction on here. So yeah, we'll get into the game. Don't do many live streams, so bear with me if things go wrong. And we're going to talk 2-1 Chelsea and where we go from here. What do we expect next? Maybe who do I think should be in the team in the next game? So let's go. I mean, what do I think of the Chelsea game? Starting off, straight off the bat, a win is a win. Look, end of the day, forget about performance, forget about what you thought, forget about Amorim, the team, whatever. We needed to win a game of football, and we won a game of football, and that is all that really matters yesterday. But we also said this when we beat Burnley the other week with a 94th minute penalty. The real question is, can we take this to the next step and beat Brentford, and the week after beat Sunderland? And I think everybody's saying this, and I've been saying it for a very, very long time, that I will not be getting carried away with one win. Even if we won 4-0 yesterday, I would expect us to go to Brentford and even if we win, make hard work of it. We just don't win games in a row, do we? Let's face it. The stats are out there. We haven't won 2 games in a row under Amorim. I saw a stat yesterday after yesterday's game saying the last time we won a game in the Premier League that didn't involve us getting a penalty or a red card for the other team was Leicester. I mean, that was a shocking stat for me. I couldn't believe it. Basically, we're reliant on the other team giving us a penalty or getting someone sent off to win a game. That was an insane stat, but onto the game, we come out of the blocks really, really quickly. Chelsea looked shell-shocked for the first 5 minutes, but it's nothing new for us to start well for 20 minutes. We've been 20 minutes FC for ages. We see 20 minutes of good football regularly. The real question is in that game is if Sanchez had done a kamikaze take out of Mbeumo, even if Mbeumo would have gone on to score, I still think Chelsea would have come back into that game and probably ended up winning it. And that's the mad thing that Sanchez did there. He gave us an early opportunity to use 11 men versus 10. And to be fair, we did it. When we was 11 versus 10, we dominated. And maybe that's how we dominate games, is it? We get someone sent off from the other team because we can't seem to ever dominate it when both teams have got 11. Which is a bizarre scenario, but it is what it is. Casemiro gets sent off. I think it is a soft second yellow. I mean, how many times in the Premier League do you see a team with someone on a yellow and they make a bit of a silly foul and they get away with it? It's a little bit harsh. I'm not really complaining. It probably is a yellow, but it's one of them where most of the time he gets let off with that and he gets another chance. But after that, we come out in the second half and we sort of revert to type. And some people probably think that we sat back, we soaked the pressure up, we did what we needed to do. We sort of kept Chelsea at arm's length until they scored and put a lot of pressure on. But we have to remember that they played with 10 men for 45 minutes. Maresca had lost the plot when that red card happened and took Neto, Esteve and Palmer off. If we'd have gone to 10 men with those 3 on the pitch still, I think we'd have seen a very different game. We were already under the cosh. They had most of the possession and they had probably 3 of their best players already taken off. And that's the worry I have with that. We're at home 10v10 and we're still like, we're not like taking control of the game at all. We just allowed them to have it. And I don't want to like dig them out too much this week because we've won the game and they put a performance in and the conditions were absolutely horrendous. So I'm going to give the United players the benefit of the doubt this week. I think they dug in and they got us a result, but the performance on a whole was still not great. You can't say the first half's great when we're playing against 10 men for 40 minutes of the 45. If we can do that against 11 men, I would say it. But we're evened up 10v10 second half, and we're back to normal. We're back to just losing the ball too easily, all over the place. You know, allowing the other team to control the tempo, and it can't continue to happen. But I'll try and get into a couple of positives, and I want to talk about De Ligt. People might or might not know I've been fairly critical of De Ligt. Not critical. I do think De Ligt's a very good defender. I've always said, though, has he got the pace and the ability on the ball to play in a team where you expect a centre-back to join the midfield? And I know he did it yesterday, right? But there's a couple of things to this. One, he's on the right-hand side of the centre-back. And two, they've only got 10 men for half the game. So you can do it on your right-hand side of the centre-back. You can sort of leave or vacate your own space. But if you central centre-back for the next game, don't expect to see De Ligt go running off into the midfield. Because it just won't happen. Because if you leave your central centre-back basically in their final third pressing the ball, you're going to end up in big trouble. Because if he gets bypassed, you'll have bypassed the midfield as well, and then you haven't got a central centre-back to pick up the pieces. And yes, everyone will say there's two other centre-backs, but these are your main focal points. So I think we're going to continue to see Maguire, Shaw and De Ligt. People won't like it. I've already seen plenty of people saying like, it's revisionism, playing Maguire, Shaw, Bruno, you know, Casemiro and all them lot. We're going back to the old guard again to get a victory when they all should really be leaving the club based on their past history, as I've already talked about in other videos, how we need to move on the core senior players from Man United before we see any sort of improvement. But they're all playing yesterday and they've ended up digging us out a win, whether you like it or not. That's what's happened. My two men of the match yesterday was De Ligt and Mbeumo. I thought Mbeumo was really good as per usual. He's just a solid, isn't he? He's exactly what we need, players like him and Masraoui. Even when they have an average game, they're still a 6 or 7. And when they have a great game, they're an 8 or 9. We've got too many players in that squad, and when they have an average game, they're a 3. And every 1 in 10 games, they might come up and turn into an 8. We need more players in the squad that can be 6, 7s, 8s every game. I thought Cunha, when he come on, he looked a bit rusty, but he showed players, i.e. Bruno Fernandes, how to control a game when you're winning. There was one where he was on the touchline and he got it and he held the ball, held his man off, turned him and passed it inside. And there was the one where he ran and he broke and he could have just played the ball to Ahmad, but instead he decided to hold on the ball and drew a foul, and basically that was the end of the game. We need more players who are clever in possession like Cunha and Mbeumo. Because if that was last season and we had Rashford, Garnacho and Bruno picking that ball up where Cunha picked it up, in those 2 instances where he wasted time and won free kicks, we know what would have happened. They would have gone for goal and lost the ball, and we would have been transitioned on. It's very subtle differences like that these players make that people don't realise what's going on. But yeah, I mean, that's it with the Chelsea game, really. In a nutshell, it's a mad game. 2 sendings off. Weather's absolutely insane. We've managed to get a win out of it, and that's all you can say out about it. We'll see about the Brentford game in a week's time, where we are really, because Brentford are a team that historically batter us or we beat them. So it's going one way or the other, innit? We're going to probably, either we're going to batter them or they're going to batter us. And you would assume we should be the ones battering them, considering Mbeumo, Wissett and Norgard are no longer at Brentford. They're 3 best players. And Thomas Frank's not there either. And they've not had a great start to the season, so you assume that we will go to Brentford and put in a decent performance. Or even if it's not a decent performance, we still need to win. Sunderland are playing right now, I believe. What's the score? Let me have a look. Sunderland versus Villa is 1-1, and Sunderland have had a man sent off. That's the game we've got after. I mean, let me just have a quick look at the league table. League table. Bournemouth are 3rd. Jesus. Sunderland are 7th. Point ahead of us as it stands. Brentford only 4 points. So really, on paper and the way Sunderland have started this season, Brentford is the easier game on paper based on the current form. Most people will think Sunderland is the so-called easier game, but Sunderland have bought a lot of players coming up and they look like a half-decent side for a promoted side. Brentford are the ones we need to be beating. Absolutely need to be beating. And what would I start as my team, in case I don't do another video before the Brentford game, just to finish this quick stream off? It will be, I'd start Lamens. And I know Binday didn't do anything wrong against Chelsea, but we know Binday is not good enough. We've spent whatever we spent, 25 million quid on a so-called keeper half of Europe or after. Put him on the pitch. I just don't get it. I mean, after the Chelsea game, you've got to start De Ligt on the right, Maguire in the middle, and you're probably going to have to start Shaw on the left. You could start Yoro, but either or for me, it's in or there, to be perfectly honest. Midfield 2, I mean, Casemiro's going to be banned, isn't he? So it can't be Casemiro. So, I mean, I don't like any of our midfielders, so it's hard for me to choose. But I'm just going to say we're going to play Bruno in there, so there's no point me choosing anyone else. So it's who plays with Bruno, and I'd say it's got to be Agate, hasn't it? Because, look, whatever you think of Mainu, Amorim don't rate him for one reason or another. The kid can't get on the pitch. He can't get a minute. Well, he got a couple of minutes, but it's nothing really, innit? You've got the other week when we had injuries, he still put Bruno in there with Agate. Mainu's basically the last sub last week. You know what I mean? Under Amorim, Mainu is finished. Like, he's gone. There's no way back for him. And just a couple of things on Mainu, right? We all say we need a new midfielder and play Mainu in the midfield and all this lot. This time last year or last season, Mainu wasn't good in the midfield. And everybody says Mainu's best position is a 10. And yes, he's better on the ball than Bruno, Agate and Casemiro. So I get why people say play him in there. But the thing is with Mainu is his best position's like people say about Bruno. He's better further up the pitch. So why do we think if we stick Mainu, who is well known to not be that mobile in a midfield two? Do we expect a different outcome than if Bruno or someone played in there? The same thing will happen because whether it's Bruno, Agate, Casemiro, or Mainu, any combination of them four in a two-man midfield will end up with us having the same problems. So you can pretty much stick your hand in a pot and pick two of them, and the same thing will happen. You might get 1 week where we get away with it and the play all right, or the team play into our hands, or we get a sending off or a pen and it works all right. And then the next 3 games, whoever's in there, it's an absolute nightmare. The two-man midfield is a disaster waiting to happen, and it always will be. There's all talk about Baleba getting hooked at Brighton constantly. His head's out of there. Will he come in January? He might. Does one player in Baleba solve our midfield two problem? It doesn't, because he's got to play with one of the other 4 who aren't good enough. Well, that's enough on the midfield. Wing backs are probably going to have to be Dorgu and Ahmad. There's been a lot of debate about Ahmad in that Chelsea game, whether he's good or bad. Some people said he was awful. Some people said he was good. I think probably sometimes I think he holds onto the ball for too long, even though he's good on the ball and he's got good feet and good dribbling technique. But sometimes he takes 1 or 2 too many touches and doesn't pass. And he's getting to be known in the fan base as another one of them players who seems to not pass quick enough, gets tackled too often. But defensively and work rate wise, and obviously talent wise, Ahmad is a good player. And we can't keep going into games with defensive wing backs. We've got to play on the front foot. So at least Ahmad is an attacking wing back. And then you've got a bit of stability on the other side with Dorgu. And I mean, there's Mazwari as well. I mean, where did Mazwari play yesterday? Did he play a wing back? And Ahmad must play at 10. I mean, it's hard because I don't want to drop Mazwari either. I mean, I would personally drop Dorgu. And I know people have said Dorgu looks all right, but his final pass and then he's athletic. He can get up and down. He gets in the positions, but his end quality is shocking. I'd try Ahmad on left wing back on his left foot, and I'd play Mazwari on the right because I don't want to drop Mazwari. 2 10s will be Kuna and Mbumo, and I'd put Sesko up front because you've got to play Sesko, haven't you? We paid 70 odd million quid for him. You've got to put the lad on the pitch and give him a shot. I mean, he got played against Grimsby, one of our worst performances in the last 10 years I can remember. He played yesterday from the start and got took off when Casemiro basically got sent off. He's the one who got sacrificed. He got a good flick on. I mean, there's a lot of up and down with Sesko. I'm not convinced he's as good as people say, but also I don't think he's been particularly poor when he's played either. He's just been all right. We need to somehow get him a goal, get him a chance, and we don't create chances. And this is an ongoing debate about Man United, just another off-topic moment here about Man United, right? There's all these stats out there about our XG being amazing, about how Bruno creates the most chances in the Premier League, about we create more chances than anyone, we have more shots than anyone. But somebody out there in the comments, whatever, please tell me the last real, proper, actual chance we created for a striker. Like a one-on-one. Like a square ball for him to have an open shot into the goal. It doesn't happen. We had something like 13 or I don't know how many shots we had against City, and everyone's saying we had so many shots against City. They're all pop shots. They're all shots that go over the bar. The shots that hit defenders because people shouldn't be shooting. All the XG is knocking the ball over the top and then Mbeumo or someone get it and they're cut inside and they have a shot, or we don't create any chances in the box. We score a lot of, we seem to score a few goals off set pieces and stuff, like second balls and that lot, but they're not chances either. That's stuff falling to people. Yesterday, Chelsea's second goal was completely avoidable. Any competent goalkeeper would have just gone and caught that ball and we wouldn't have scored the second. The first goal's a good goal. And to be fair to Bruno, props to him, 100 goals in 200 games. As much as I slag him off, it's a pretty decent record. So I'll give Bruno a bit of credit there. But you get what I mean. All this XG talk, all this chance creation talk, they're not real chances, are they? Somebody's laying the ball off square to someone and they have a 30-yard shot. It's not chance creation. Somebody hoofing a diagonal from the halfway line to Mbeumo, who cuts in and has a shot, in chance creation. It's all stats. We don't create chances like City, Liverpool, Arsenal create chances. We create moments still, and that is a huge problem. We're still reliant on moments. And yesterday, the moments weren't even really moments we created. Chelsea basically shat the bed, gave us the first goal. Well, got a man sent off, which created the space to get the first goal, even though the first goal was a pretty well-worked goal, to be fair. And the second goal is just calamity from the Chelsea's keeper. But yeah, I mean, right here, right now, what do I expect from the Brentford game? Is it away? It must be away. Let me just check. Let me just check the fixtures here. We're 10th in the league currently. -2 goal difference, if anyone's interested. Fixtures. Yeah, away at Brentford. What's the head-to-head with Brentford? I'm not sure. I ain't got the Man United Brentford head-to-head. But like I say, it's one of them where we lose or we win against Brentford. So it can easily go very wrong for Manchester United at Brentford. Or it could go right. And if we beat Brentford and Sunderland, and I don't mean by scraping a goal, a penalty, a red card, whatever, I mean convincing 2-3-0 wins or even a 1-0 where we dominate, and we get into the next international break, because let me just look at the fixtures again. When's the international break? As you can tell, I was unprepared for this video. I wasn't supposed to be going so far into the future chat. So, yes, Sunderland, it must be, and then Liverpool straight after the international break. If we win these 2 games, maybe I'll be a little bit more positive. But then we come back and we face Liverpool and Brighton. Brighton have not had a great start, but Brighton are usually a team that spank us all over the place. So we've basically got 2 games to probably allow Amorim to lose to Liverpool and maybe get a draw or lose to Brighton. Because if we lose one of these Brentford or Sunderland games, then going to Liverpool, Brighton, and Forest, then Spurs, the next 4 games after that are tough games. So we could be back into this feeling where we're like having a nightmare again. So we've got to beat Brentford and Sunderland, and then we can go into the Liverpool game where the pressure's off a bit, and if we lose, we lose. But that is where we are at. I'm going to go for the Brentford game score prediction right now to be 2-1 to Man United. And that's what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to try and hope we're going to get 2 wins in a row. And on that note, I will end it before I talk myself out of us getting 2 wins in a row. So yeah, hit like, favourite, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.